It's time for the Steve and Kyle podcast with Steve.
I can dance on your grave. That's how set in stone this is.
If I were dead, that is.
Well, I mean, you're going to be dead at some point.
Oh.
And I have a note set in my phone to go off the day after you die. Or maybe 3 days after you die, once you're in the ground.
What's the holdup? Why haven't we buried this tub of idiot
I
yet?
got my dancing shoes on.
Kyle.
So there's a good chance while I was waiting, he just dunked the whole thing in a can of Barbasol or whatever, and then dried it with a paper towel.
Or you saw him take a Bic pen and just crack it in half, and then.
You said black, right? Because I've got black, red, and blue.
Yes, sir, Mr. Gator.
Black's great, Mr. Gator. Thanks for asking.
Whatever you say, sir.
Live on tape from APS 3 point whatever, it's the Steve and Kyle podcast.
Melissa Vaughn, everybody. Melissa Vaughn, the UK's greatest voiceover talent.
It's
Oh, hey, you.
Hey, I'm here. That's what we get. We fiddle with.
We did
just a few things before we start recording.
We fiddled with the whole setup,
but we didn't touch anything on this.
Right, but we messed with its chakra or whatever.
That's right. I think we made it mad. We messed up the Behringer Xenix 1204's juju.
Yeah.
Because it's now mad at us as it had to look at. It's like the old wife, we've been married for so long, and it just had to watch you and I fawn over the mistress right in front of her.
Yep. Yeah.
And
it's
we now offended.
We tempted fate, that's for sure. Right before we started recording, we looked down on the floor at the mixer that's been sitting there for 2 months.
Well, we'd been joking about it for the better part of probably 5 or 6 weeks, and you seemed and again, it doesn't matter. It's here. It's not going anywhere. So it is what it is.
Well, I mean, unless somebody makes me a reasonable offer on it.
Us? I mean, that is
right. I mean, I'll fill you in after the money has been exchanged.
So it doesn't matter. Our current setup is fine. We bought this to streamline the process. And I remember when you were working from home for a little bit, when the monkeys had the Ebola outbreak.
Yeah.
At the station, you were home for a little bit, and you were like, "This is going to be perfect because I'm going to have time to set this up now because I'm going to be working right here anyway." So essentially,
I'll be double dipping.
10 o'clock, the last whoo-hoo goes down the airwaves.
Yeah.
You click, puddle of mud.
Fairly accurate.
Wipe your hands. Start telling them, hey, my connection's bad. Boom. You're out. 10:01.
Grab a piece of paper and crinkle it right in front of the mic.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. See you tomorrow.
10:01 a.m. You're home free.
Yeah,
you haven't even put pants on.
I mean, that's the way work is for me.
And
if the mics aren't on, I'm not working.
So I think kind of your plan was at some point you'd set it up, and then we'd do a test run to you and I could figure out a lot of the whistles and the chutes and ladders on it
the ins
that
and
we
outs.
have no idea. Well, that idea persisted for the last 6 weeks up until apparently we made one joke too many this morning and decided, you know what?
Enough
you said
enough.
Yeah, you said, you know what? Let's just slap it up here and see if we can turn it on. And quite honestly, took longer than it should have to just turn it on.
It did, but
the power button, we couldn't hear ourselves.
Yeah, to actually put it up on the countertop, put it up on the folding card table with many holes drilled in it. It took 2 seconds. Plugged it in, no problem.
Yeah.
Eventually found the on button, no problem, and then commenced about 10 minutes of staring. Of what do you think? What do you think that? What does EX mean? What about HZ? Think that's important? Hit that. Oh my God! You hit one button that nearly blew out my eardrums because I was talking, but something was feeding at about 50 times the volume that it should have been, and I actually threw my headphones off.
You went upstairs. I started Googling what some of the buttons meant.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we did a little test run, and then we promptly put it back on the ground where it had been the last 6 weeks.
Well, yeah, I mean, I knew exactly where it went because the carpet had a nice indentation there.
Yeah, I'm guessing the 4 little rubber feet left 4 nice little spots for you to remember.
It's in the exact same spot. No one will ever know. So I think maybe
next week.
Maybe.
I got to tell you, though.
I think what we're going to need to do, though, is there's going to need to be a test.
Oh, no question.
Like a couple test recordings, and maybe we'll end up releasing them as like a bonus thing. But it's literally going to be us going like 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 2 2 2 2. Okay, turn that one up. Yeah, 2 2 2 2. Okay, is record hit? Is it recording?
We're going to have to be doing test phone calls.
Oh yeah, maybe we'll do a stream.
We're going to have to be doing so much, and I can already say, and I don't want to, put water in our Cheerios here. Mm-hmm. This sounds better to me so far.
This one, yeah, I think it does.
But granted, we've had years.
Yeah.
And by years, I mean, after about 3 episodes, we kind of really dialed this one in and haven't touched it.
Set it and forget it.
Yeah. The only time we've had to make adjustments are when we moved from the first corner of the room to the sunroom, back to this corner of the room, and then
we went back to that corner first, and then over here, yeah.
But that is also, anytime you have to take into consideration Evelyn, who you said enjoys playing with the cords or dangly cords. I mean, it's fun. It's a
lots of knobs.
Highlight for a child. Steve, we have a decent amount to get to today.
We do. By the way, it is Saturday, May 8th, 2021, the year of our Lord. It's the Steve and Kyle podcast.
I wanted to mention to you, I've been thinking about this for a few weeks now, and it's partly selfish on my part, but I'm thinking maybe next week, if we could take the majority of this program, and maybe I can tell the tale of my battle with the heart doctors.
Okay.
So,
all right,
it will be 6 months this week since I was in there.
Do they say 6 months post-op?
Yeah, I guess that's what they'd say. 6 months of my first post-op would be the way.
Yeah, I feel like that's we kind of have to say it that way.
Yeah.
Lends a little bit of credibility to you and I.
Sure.
The medical doctors that we are.
Maybe I'll call out the highly paid surgeon who worked on my chest, and maybe I'll
get him on the line.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be open on a Saturday or Sunday morning.
Yeah, you think he does podcast interviews on a regular basis?
No question. Actually, I'm not even going to send it through the formal channels. I'm just going to friend him on Facebook.
Sure.
And then I'll send it to him there.
Did you have a good rapport with him?
Oh, yeah. Great man.
Okay, good.
Great man.
So it's not like I'm never taking my car to that mechanic
again.
Oh,
goodness. No.
Okay.
I mean, I first went in, Steve, and this isn't part of the story, but I first went in, and part of me wanted the same heart surgeon my dad had. About 8 years. My dad had a triple bypass a bunch of years ago. His schedule simply didn't pan out. It was too far out for me.
I guess I never thought about that. Do you have the option?
Yeah.
Like,
you have choice. I mean, they tell you the people who do that surgery, they first issue a recommendation, but I had my request, hey, does Dr. So-and-so do this? They said, yeah. I said, I would like to see him. And it was so early on in the process that I actually noticed this week on our a lot of hospitals have where you can message your doctors.
Sure.
Right? Yeah. On an app or whatever. And that first doctor's name that I requested is still there.
Okay.
Like I could send him because that was the one I said, hey, when you send me over there, I'd like to see him.
Do you think he's dodging you?
No, because I'm the one who didn't go with him. That was just because the timeline. I didn't want to wait as long. He was going to be so many weeks out that I nervous. I didn't want to wait another month to get this thing done. I'd rather get it done.
Talk about that's a completely bizarre world that I just can't imagine.
Yeah.
Like because he's probably got somebody who schedules these for him. So he'll wake up on a Tuesday, look at his phone. All right, what do we got today? We got any meetings? Oh no, just a quadruple bypass at 2. I got a hangnail removal at 2:30.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm back for just a single bypass at 4. All right, pretty light day.
And I knew it was for me. They're obviously they're the best at what they do, but part of you still worried I don't want to be second or third in a row that day. I don't want fatigue. But then hey, your surgery is an all day affair.
Yeah.
You will be the only surgery that heart surgeon is doing that day just because it's so involved.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I had switched from my initial request, but yeah, it'll be 6 months this week. And I mentioned selfishness because at some point some of those details are going to start to fade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
The minimal amount I already, and I shouldn't say minimal amount, but those first few days I was, you're heavily medicated.
Yeah.
Heavily medicated. So
like in a fog.
I don't remember hardly anything.
Because we texted a couple of times.
I couldn't even tell you.
Exactly. And I'm sure that if you go back and read them, there were probably like 9 hours in between.
Yeah. I watched
sent and received.
I watched like one movie. I don't remember 5 minutes of it. When I was in there, those first 4 or 5 days, heavily medicated. A lot of it that I had heard was secondhand, just the night of the surgery, the day of the surgery.
Is that the time that you finally picked to watch Rad?
You know, it wasn't on the selection service at the hospital. I remember one of the things vividly remember me just screaming at the hallway as a nurse ran out in tears because she couldn't find Rad on the hospital.
You should have called
movie
me, man.
software.
I would have brought the DVD over. I would have been right there.
You know, jumped on up with the DVD of Rad.
Yeah. Pulled up a hospital bed right next to you. Like, hey, this is when Crew Jones first sees Hell Track. Check it out. This is where Lori Loughlin teaches him how to backflip.
Even the names are so stupid. Crew Jones, Hell Track.
You know, it was
for its time.
Hey, but we digress. This is not about. It's not about me. Not
point.
about Rad.
Good point.
Eventually, it will come back around to that.
It always does. Just imagine if like 7 out of 10 of our conversations came around back to Rad. Like, there's no way we'd be cordial anymore. I would never want to talk to you.
Honestly, it would be the greatest relationship I've ever been in.
I would never want to speak to you. I would be in fear of opening my mouth or even texting around you.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, you want to record Saturday? Yeah. Like that Saturday morning the boys went to Hell Track and met the big bully. But it's okay, because Lori was there to soothe his aches and pains and his knee scrapes from the blading or BMXing. It was BMX.
BMX,
right?
yeah. BMX.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Probably get that. That should be the one thing that you know about the movie at this point.
So a lot of it is
next week.
Yeah, a lot of it is kind of bits and pieces. So I will. I listen. This isn't a linear story I'm going to tell next week. So anybody who's, I'll try to do as much as I can in terms of kind of day by day, but it's simply not viable for me to remember everything, let alone put it all together now 6 months after the fact. But part of me kind of wants a little record somewhere, and sure. I don't have a journal of what happened and when it happened and the whole process, because that is the only time in the 6-year history of this podcast, coming up on 6 years next month, Steve, that, 5 years, sorry, 2016. I don't know why we thought, we started in 2016, that we took time off.
Yeah.
That we, actively.
Some say that was our best, our best period of work.
That was what did we do? 3 weeks? 4 weeks? Were we off a month?
I think we were off a month.
Yeah, and that makes sense because I was in there for almost 2 weeks in full anyway. So I think next week's the time to finally unveil that. So Steve, you'll have a light week next week. You won't have much to do.
Kick my feet up. Oh, you mean I don't have to do all the prep that I always do?
Yeah. I mean, what I will need you to have though, and I'm trying to tell myself, I'm trying to steel myself against, because this was, I'm not trying to make it hyperbolic. It was the worst 12 days of my life.
I don't think that, I don't think anyone would take that as being hyperbolic.
Well,
either,
I mean, this is the worst thing ever. Well, like in my mind, this for me,
and there's going to be some idiots. Really?
Yeah.
Would that be worse than if the planet blew up?
Yeah, we're fighting wars, man. There's always that guy. There is always the guy somewhere who compares it to the plight of a soldier.
Yeah.
No matter what it doesn't. Always, 100%. So I will need you to have the slide whistle sound prepared for next week.
Up and down?
More down. But let's have the up.
Maybe the up will be at the end, and then I walked out of the hospital.
Yep, and then I got home. Beep. And that's it. So, we'll need
if we use it 100 times, it'll probably be 99 times down. Maybe once up.
And maybe what we should have is because it's not an overall happy. I mean, it's a happy story that I'm better, that I'm okay now. But maybe we should have, because I might need a break. Okay, here in a few minutes here and there, a few seconds here and there. Yeah. So if you want to have maybe a few of your Jeep lists that you've been preparing so diligently,
not a problem.
Okay, as you know, I mean, listen, I have, I'm still waiting to get to my top 5 Celtics of the 1970s. I already went through my top 5 Pacers of the 1990s.
Right.
So we've got the Celtics of the 70s. We've got the Houston Rockets of the 80s. So I've got lists ready for days in case you ever need to tell your heart surgery story and you need some time off.
Is that the only time I'll get to?
Yeah, that's it. I'll have to blow the dust off of my top 5 players lists.
All right. Well, good news. I took your words to heart and got
already
it ready.
Ready. And again, we won't need that one much. One time. That's the one we'll need more often.
So basically, my role is spacebar guy.
Sure.
I can't wait.
I mean, obviously, if you have any questions, feel free to jump in.
I won't.
mean, I'm terrible.
No, not interested. Just looking forward to playing ad nauseum next week.
Again, I'd prefer that on the record. Steve, quote, does not care.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's you got a boo-boo. We've talked about this.
But
you're all patched up.
That's very true.
You got a Band-Aid. They let you out of the hospital. Yeah. They said, "Hey, don't run too much."
Yeah,
and
that is very true. They were very clear about the running.
And 6 months later, you're good.
But if anybody has any specific questions that maybe I won't get to, if you want to send those to us on our Twitter at Steve and Kyle or on Facebook at Steve and Kyle, anywhere you'd like. If you have any specific questions about that, I know it's not like I've gone into detail. Well, I went into somewhat detail about what I was getting done beforehand.
But other than that, you haven't really really talked about it much at all.
So a bit selfish, but a bit of it'll be a bit of getting it off my chest as well. And
no pun intended.
I also did say when we came back, I did say I will tell the story eventually, and I'm going to stand by that, so everybody can kind of know, that I was the reason we were on hiatus.
Oh yeah. Don't worry. I've made it clear to anyone who has wondered that you're the reason. So, folks, next week's episode is going to be a bit of a downer.
Maybe instead of like top 5 list, do you want to have like the laugher of the day ready?
So I can go to that joke of the day.
Joke
website?
of the day, yeah. But you need a list. Like you have to go back some days.
Of course, yeah.
And again, this is just if I need a break, an emotional break for a few seconds to kind of compose myself.
I can jump in.
Yeah, I don't have faith in myself to be able to get through the whole thing without breaking a little bit. So I apologize in advance because I hate doing that. I hate feeling even remotely that vulnerable. But it's important to tell this story. Also important to. I mean, it's not like I'm raising awareness, but. Listen, if I didn't go in, this thing could have killed me, and eventually it would have. So it's important to listen to yourself. I think I'm like most people, and Steve, I think we all kind of lean to this a little bit. It's not that bad. I'll get better. I'll be fine. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
Absolutely.
And it's because we don't want to go to the hospital.
Yeah,
Part of it's we don't want to hear bad news. Part of it's a hassle. I get it. But if you have something that's really bothering you internally, medically, please, please, please go see a doctor.
I did it this week.
You did?
Did the exact thing this week. Finally brought up something to a doctor that I've been wanting to bring up or meaning, not really avoiding bringing up, just didn't happen for years. But so maybe if you want to give because I got some jokes of the day ready. So do you want to kind of give a bit of a teaser on what this may...
Let me try to throw something together, okay?
Okay.
So Steve, on day, it was day 7 by that point, and part of me didn't think I was going to get home.
Hey, what do you call a fish without eyes?
What's that, Steve?
Back to the story.
So we made it through day 7, and then I think that's the best way to tell it.
I think it's the only way. I think it's the only way to tell it.
And I'm planning. Listen, in the early days of this podcast, I would post it on my personal Facebook just in case family and friends hadn't seen it. After a while, I assumed, hey, if they hadn't seen it by now, they don't want to, they don't care, which is fine. This is one I'll push out. Now, I might send to some family members who aren't tech savvy so they can listen. So I think it's important that we make it our own and use the down and up slide whistle.
Okay. Do you want to try
And
this
the jokes of
one
the
more
day.
time? All right. So if you could give me a real bummer of a moment.
So it was that morning that the doctor came in and said, hey, you're not going home today. You're not going to be going home for a few days.
Hey, Steve here with the joke of the day. What do you call an alligator detective?
What's that, Steve?
That's an investigator.
So that's next week. So get ready for that. But I think it's important to do it that way. Because we need to make this thing our own and keep it our own.
Exactly.
And our podcast has never once done just a fully sad story.
A very special episode.
Yeah,
this will
it
be
will
the
be.
Yeah, this is going to be the 80s sitcom equivalent of the very special episode.
This is the equivalent of the after-school special about
Yes.
Don't Do Drugs Kids from 1993.
Yeah. Yep.
Where they had all the hip people like Arsenio Hall.
Hey, it's Emilio Estevez.
Yeah.
He says, crack is whack or dope is nope.
Yeah, and it's, in the background, Charlie Sheen snorting a line while he's jumping into a pool. God, those things were the worst, weren't they? I remember I watched one at home that I feel like my parents, and a lot of parents, it was a nighttime one, probably felt like, hey, we have to. Like, hey, we got to make our kids watch this. And then it's just in school. About once or twice a year, it feels like you're inundated with, whether it's at a school-wide assembly or whether it's in one of your weird specialty classes they think are mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
Those after-school drug specials. Oh, my God. Just the worst. Probably drove more people to
absolutely
drugs than from drugs, right?
Yeah, like it showed how cool it was.
I'd never considered cocaine before. And yet there I was in the 6th grade.
So we have a bunch of things that we have to get to still. We have
oh, God.
We have some viewer mail time.
Oh, yeah. We have.
Do you want to get to that right away?
Let's
I know
do
that
the
you
viewer
were-
mail time.
When we, right as the intro was starting, you were bouncing in your seat, excited
You know
about
what? Let's
something.
do that first because so I want to get to this, my childlike excitement.
Okay.
And then we've got viewer mail time. We got to talk about maybe a new piece of merch that'll be in the shop this week.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And then we're going to have to get to, I want to recap last week's polls as well.
Okay.
So that'll be just I don't know why I told everybody a quick rundown of the rest of this this week's episode.
Yeah, it's the best time to do it, 22 and a half minutes in.
Boy, I've been waiting for this, these bullet points, and it's been 21 minutes in. I'm going to give up. Now we lost everybody.
Yeah.
And as everybody knows, we only have just under 37 minutes before we lose Robert, my brother, says that after 1 hour. He doesn't even download. Steve,
Maybe we just get to the point where if we go over it, say we do an hour and 20, we just time compress it.
Yeah, just
to
for
an
him.
hour. Yeah.
Can we isolate his
Yeah, we'll
his
send him
podcatcher?
a separate RSS feed just for Robert.
Either that or we'll just tell him, like, hey, we're individually delivering episodes now. Thanks for signing up to our subscriber list.
Like a milkman.
Yeah. Here's your MP3 or your lossless M4A, whatever you want. Here's both versions. I was jumping up and down, Steve, because I've been looking for something more actively in the last month than in the past. But I've wanted this thing for a while.
All right, can I make a guess?
Yes, please do.
Something comic book related.
It is not comic book related.
Okay. Something gambling related. Because if I know you, there's a couple things you love wasting money on, and it's gambling, and
It's coming from a guy with a vertical truck bed parked in the middle of his garage right now. I'm gonna catch grief.
that's Evelyn's first car that I'm working on. Just getting out ahead of it.
If you ever want an emancipated minor, you tell her she's getting a Comanche for her first car
she's
at
getting
age
a Comanche
16.
for her first car.
Dad,
So
it's a
at
stick.
At 16,
you never even taught me.
So in the year 2035, she will then be driving a vehicle that, as of right now, is already 35 years old or 33 years old. So it'll be, 66 years old?
Yeah.
Does that seem right? I don't feel like that.
It's 89, right?
That 88. Yeah, that math.
88.
Not even.
So 15 years from now, it'll be about 45 years old.
Yeah.
45 to 50 years old.
Don't know how I messed that math up that badly.
It'll be just as old as you.
Oh, no.
Just under.
It'll be 7 years younger than me.
Oh, I promise you, she'll be back within 60 minutes.
Look.
Actually, by that point, 15 years from now, she may be able to get like a lawyer by blinking 3 times, and pressing a button on the side of her head.
I'm going to record the interaction when I tell her that on my phone or on my like digital hologram brain.
Yeah. Dad, how am I supposed to get laid in the back seat when there's no back seat?
Oh, that'll be weird.
You want me to lay in the truck bed? You think your daughter's going to be the kind of girl who has a couch in the bed of the truck?
I can't imagine that's legal.
No, you strap it down, or you can probably fancy some bolts right into the frame.
Right.
It's a more comfortable tailgating.
Yeah. Do I think my daughter's going to be that kind of girl? I would have never known that there was that kind of girl. To begin with,
you could throw the old grandfather cap on it again.
That's long gone.
It'll be 2035. You could probably, have our friend Cy Nolan Ryan Young use his fancy printer to make you one by then.
Just 3D print it piece by piece.
Yeah, 3D print.
By the way,
that
thing's amazing. He 3D printed me something.
Did he?
Last week.
Very nice.
It's great.
It's so fancy. Should we buy one?
Yeah.
What are we going to do with it?
It's better to have the solution.
That's a good point.
Before you have the problem.
Point. That's right, folks. Still discussing going further into the red before we even remotely touch the idea of being in the black.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't we make a ridiculous purchase that will sit on the floor?
Yeah,
for weeks.
We get a $2,000 3D printer, chuck it into a corner in a box, and forget about it. Like the remaining posters we had.
Yep.
Like the mixer we have.
Yep.
Yeah, we're very good. Mm-hmm. We're very good. Steve, you are incorrect on both counts. It is not comic book related. It is not gambling related. There is something near and dear to my heart throughout the years, and I think a lot of people might share this with me.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite game to play at a restaurant or bar ever. Golden Tee.
I was going to say, it's got to be Golden Tee.
Golden Tee is a classic, and it's the best because, one, you don't have to be a good golfer. Two, you're winding up, you're hitting that roller ball way too hard, harder than you need to.
Right with the bottom of your palm.
The thing about the Golden Tee is the reason I never played it a ton when I was younger, like when I was with my folks or whatever, it was so expensive.
Was it?
Compared to an arcade game. Like if I wanted to go play, a regular arcade, it's probably 25 or 50 cents. Well, one person to golf Golden Tee, however many holes, like $1.50.
Okay.
So you want 2 people to do it. It's more and more. At that point,
all right,
it's not going to work.
So do they make that? I would assume that they make that on a console, like a video game console.
They sell like a version you can hook up to your TV, but it's essentially just the box, a little box with a roller ball that you hook cords into your TV.
Yeah.
No, I'm not a scumbag. So no.
Don't they make it for the Wii or something?
I don't think. Well, I mean, they probably have Wii Golf where you use the stupid controllers. No, I want the roller ball, Steve.
Okay, so
that's what I want.
Unless it is the actual thing, you don't want any cheap knockoff.
Not interested. So, a couple of actually, I shouldn't even say it was a couple of years ago.
Oh boy,
this company started creating kind of in-home, affordable versions of these arcade games. Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Pac-Man.
You're talking like the whole cabinet?
NBA Jam.
Okay.
Big Buck Hunter.
So, like joystick, bunch of buttons, just like you're in the arcade.
These are 2 feet wide, and they come with a 1-foot riser, so they sit 5 feet tall. Mm-hmm. So they're not as consuming as the ones you'd see at a bar,
right,
or even in an arcade.
Well, I think and plus the reason that those things were so big is because back in the day, there was like an actual TV mounted inside, like a CRT TV, which was like 1.5 feet deep.
Yep. Well, these are made by a company who does all of these, and they retail for anywhere between $250 and like $500.
Oh, that's a lot more reasonable than I thought.
It's very reasonable.
I thought you were going to say between $250 and $3,000 if you want like all the bells and whistles.
Now they've had some, so they have like legacy. They're called legacy cabinets with all the old like games like Asteroids, whatever, and those don't sell as well. But some of these insanely popular ones, you cannot find them. Okay. Golden Tee is one of them. You cannot find it. So a couple of months ago, I decided I'm going to start searching for this. Every day, I'm on the Best Buy website. I'm looking at Walmart. I'm on Facebook Marketplace. I'm everywhere. I'm searching. I'm searching for a golden tee. Preferably not, super banged up. Like there's one that a guy could ship to me from Ohio that was one of those, what do they call them, Steve, where they were on display in the store, like a display model, right?
The display model.
I was like, well, I mean, the thing was on for 14 hours a day for 4 months.
How much do you want
How
for
much
it?
life? It was gonna be like $400
Shipped.
And I was like,
Not bad. We're in Ohio, so
I forget the
it
city.
wouldn't be worth it to drive there.
No, and I wouldn't do that anyway. I mean, $50 to ship, that's probably a wash on gas at that point. 2 tanks of gas. At that point, just send it to me. So
yeah, if it shows up damaged too, it's on him. But if you damage it on the way home, you're screwed. Yeah.
So you saw me earlier this week, or no, you didn't see. I'm sorry. You saw me this just a few minutes ago, like kind of bouncing up and down in my seat, giddy.
You started jumping.
That was my wife a week ago when I'd messaged somebody who had one for sale right here.
Right here in town.
And again, these are pretty hard to find.
Okay. Who makes it again?
It's called Arcade 1-Up.
Arcade, the number one? Or?
Yeah, the number 1-Up. And so they don't sell them directly off their website. They only use partners. Their partners are Best Buy, Walmart, Sam's Club, and some Canadian wholesale store.
Arcade 1-Up Golden Tee. Okay.
So the cheapest one on eBay right now is like $600+. I'm not doing it. You can't justify that. That's more than double the retail price when it came out. No thanks.
Art kit. Okay, so that's just, I'm assuming what I'm looking at is just like the stickers and the...
Yep.
But is this pretty much what it looks like that?
Yeah,
right?
that's it.
Okay.
2 feet wide by 4 to 5 feet tall, and it just plugs into a regular outlet. People buy it's got a light up marquee like you'd see at the arcade.
So it's not one that was pulled out of an arcade that was modified to work without coins.
No, this was bought online or at a store, within the last 2 years.
Okay.
So what you saw me do a half hour ago was the same thing my wife saw me do a week ago when I thought I had one. There was one right in town here, and he had it listed for $400.
That's kind of the deal of the century. I mean, depending
not
on
at
which,
400, because you know what?
Depending on which century we're talking here. I don't know. Do you subscribe to Rolling Centuries like I do?
Steve, Rolling Centuries magazine is the only subscription I subscribe to.
Of course. Whole magazine about it.
Talk about, what's Gandhi's favorite Rolling Century? Is Gandhi still with us? We lost Gandhi, right?
I believe Gandhi's
been dead for a while. I feel like this is a dumb question on my part.
I think he's been dead for like 100 years.
Really? Oh, boy, that'd be... So, oh, no, that'd be embarrassing. Oh, please find out. I have a feeling it was... Didn't they make a movie about him in the 80s?
Born October 2nd.
1963.
So you think Gandhi was born the year that Kennedy was shot?
No, I think, a lot of things happened that year. A lot of accidents happened that year.
Gandhi was born...
Let me guess legitimately. 1925.
Gandhi was born nearly 100 years before Kennedy was shot. 1869.
Okay.
In India.
So
he was assassinated.
Oh, so he's not with us then?
The jury's still out. But
you don't
let me put it this way. No one has seen him since January 30th, 1948. Okay.
So you don't think he's meditating while Kenny's crooning somewhere then?
Who's to say?
I have no idea how we just got onto Gandhi. But I messaged this person who, the deal of the century, Rolling Century. Obviously, Gandhi was a fan of the Rolling Century. The founding father of the Rolling Centuries. Is what us in the Rolling Centuries Club like to say. Mm-hmm. I feel like there'd be like a Rolling Centuries jacket. Kind of like a leisure jacket in the 70s. This person in town had it listed for $400, but I'm a tough negotiator, Steve. Send an offer, and with Facebook Marketplace now, I'm sure you know because you're a savant.
Come on, of course. Do I need to play the Facebook Marketplace intro, even though it's not for me?
Yeah, you know what? I think we should. Okay. I think we should, because I think it applies for everybody, right?
I'm gonna ditch some crack to some losers on the Facebook market. I'm pushing, looking for a scumbag on the Facebook Marketplace.
Thank you, Zach.
It was
he had it up for sale for $400. You threw the offer.
Yeah, and so you can send an offer. You don't have to if they set it up, you don't have to send a message first. Mm-hmm. You only have to send an offer.
Okay.
You can. And I sent an offer of $300 because he said, make a reasonable offer. So it's like,
I'd
okay.
say that seems very reasonable.
And about 20 minutes later, as I'm sitting there, I get it says message back. It's offer accepted. And so now I'm really bouncing my
This
chair.
is last week?
This is last week.
Okay.
I'm already, I didn't tell Katie right away. I'm like, all right, I got to think about when. Can we go get it tonight?
Was she excited about it too?
I don't think she cares.
Okay.
I don't think she cares.
But she would probably be excited because you're excited.
Yeah,
She'd
yeah.
be happy for you.
At this point, she knew how badly I want one of these ridiculous machines.
Yeah.
And I don't win a lot of these battles. We're on year 7 or 8 of me wanting a water cooler in my house. Haven't won that battle.
Look, you're preaching to the choir here.
It's ridiculous. I just want to have some water cooler chat. You know, maybe in the garage or a different corner of the house. So if I have friends over and we start having, you know, conversation, whether it's, you know, not gossip related, but sports related or whatever, I'd say, hey.
Maybe a side conversation breaks out.
Yeah. Say, hey, let's take it to the water cooler.
Perfectly reasonable.
That's what I thought. Somebody try to talk some sense into my wife, who is just out of her mind against the idea of a water cooler. So this one, though,
Why would you be against good hydration?
And you know what? She yells at me that I need to drink water more. You know, can't speak out of both sides of your mouth.
Nope.
But this is one that she's okay with. She's initially it was, where are you going to put it? You know, wave it off. Who cares? I'll find.
I mean,
a
you
spot.
guys got a house.
Yeah, and we have room in the basement that I could, you know, we have a wall with our little old entertainment center.
The bedroom too, right next to the bed.
Light up marquee. 2 in the morning. She's sleeping. Has to go to work. All of a sudden, here's that's a birdie from the 1997 announcer on Golden Tee. So she's in favor. So finally, I'm like, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
I got it. And I said it's what I wanted to pay. This is perfect.
I'm surprised there was no negotiation, because if that's me, if I'm Golden Tee seller,
You're countering back.
he said 400, you said 300. I always do the. How about you meet me in the middle at 350?
And I probably would have taken that still. Mm-hmm. I probably would have done it. So I tell her, say, hey, I got it. And before I even have a chance to message, because like I said, I waited a few minutes. I digested the news.
I'm surprised that there wasn't like the cartoonish sight of your feet peeling out and the feet hitting the ground sound as your feet were spinning because you were peeling out on your way out the door to go pick it up immediately.
Sorry, I'm messaging. I'll tell you in a minute.
Oh, boy.
But I said I waited a few minutes to digest it. And as I go back to my phone to start making details to pick this thing up.
And you have to wait a minute to digest it.
Oh, no
because
question.
I think about this all the time. Whenever I receive some new information, I think to myself, I'm the only one in the world that knows this right now.
Yeah.
No matter how insignificant it is.
Yeah.
Even if the doctor calls and says, like, ooh, the test is negative.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, thank you. And then you hang up and you're like, no one else knows this.
Yeah.
Except that person. But they don't know me.
When Lee, you know, was doing target practice outside the school book depository.
Bad example.
He was the only one who knew that the bird he was aiming at flew in front of JFK, the back of his head.
Well, that's one of those conspiracy theories you don't hear much about. You know, you hear about the second gunman on the grassy knoll. You hear about the FBI and the CIA.
Mm-hmm. Mobsters, the mafia.
Yeah, mafia. Castro involved somehow.
They're all wrong.
So it's Lee was... So now Lee, Harvey Oswald for those unfamiliar.
LHO to his family.
So now he was taking target practice outside the book depository, and a bird flew in front. So was he aiming at the bird?
Yeah, obviously.
Okay.
The guy's just a hunter. You have from.
All right. But
we digress.
Yeah.
So as I go back to my phone to start making details to pick it up, and I'll actually pull up the message that the man sent to me, because it put me into a near fury.
Boy. Oh, I bet I know what it is. Can I guess?
You can. You're probably on the right track, but yeah.
It's probably going to be a, sorry, I meant to hit counteroffer, or I meant to mark it as pending for someone else.
Not even that vague. It was, I'm Sorry. Just found out my wife paid for it, and I see they're out of stock everywhere. I'm going to have to stick to my original price.
Okay. So at this point...
And I'm in a fury.
So this thing is miles away from you. It's within your grasp.
Yeah, it's 10 to 15 miles away.
$400 versus $300. All right, not great, but hey, we've all been in the situation where the price is firm, but you had your hopes up briefly. Yeah, now you're angry and you want to say, F you.
Right.
I hope you burn in hell. I hope a tree falls on your house and lands on your golden tee.
Drop them and...
But you have to negotiate, or you have to navigate this very carefully.
Yeah.
Because you can't fire back a F you response.
Sure.
Because then if the next day you kind of come to your senses and think like, that's still a pretty good deal. Yeah, it sucks that I thought I had it for $300, but because then you can't go back, and then you got to go back with your tail between your legs.
Steadfast, I'm not paying $400.
Okay.
It's used. That's and granted, I know they're out everywhere, but I think the out is temporary. Now, how long that temporary is, I don't know, but they're making more of arcades constantly. Mm-hmm. So I would be surprised if by the end of the holiday season this year there weren't more out there. I'm just antsy. Now I decided I don't know.
It's in your head.
Yeah. So
Comanche.
I'm not doing
same thing,
right? Yeah, and I take a little credit for that. We brought the Comanche back up after the search. You were searching a year or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We kind of let it wind down. I asked you where you were at on that, and the next thing I know a couple listeners sent in some listings.
Yeah.
And then you found
next
one.
Next thing you know, I'm texting you, can't record this weekend.
Yeah.
Got to pick up a rust bucket.
So I sent him back an LOL and a thumbs up because now I'm aggravated. Mm-hmm. I'm aggravated that that's the retort after it's accepted.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I can do. I can't call up the Zuck and tell him, hey, this person just lied.
Well, he could have just declined your offer.
Sure. He accepted, then told his wife, I just made $300. Well, I paid $400 for it. Oh. But, the expectation that he was going to make money on this, I don't know that was his initial expectation. Whatever. So he messaged me back the next day saying, are you still interested? And I said, no. I said, at $400 after the $300 was accepted, I'm not interested. And then he came down. This is Monday. I can do $350. So there was haggle room to begin with.
Sure.
But he just wanted to decide to play hardball.
Yeah, that whole conversation with the wife about this is what I just found. No, it's not.
Yeah. Not interested. So finally, I think my wife can see how much I'm still looking at it. A couple days later, she's telling me, just ask him if he'll do $325 and accept it $350, whatever. So I somewhat put my tail between my legs and said, hey, is it still for sale? If so, would you go to $325? And answers me probably 4 hours later, nope, someone is picking it for $400. Fine. I wasn't going to $400 anyway. Didn't want to do $350 after this other offer was accepted. Moving on. There I was, though, the rest of this week, still checking every day because some open box ones show up at either Walmart or Best Buy, and new listings, obviously, on Marketplace and eBay kind of go on constantly. So I'm kind of looking. Well, as we're finishing up our own tech stuff here, I have our Facebook open because we go over our polls every week. And I'm at the market. I go to click on the Marketplace button, and it could tell I'd been searching for it because it said, like picks for you or something. And what do I see? I see a golden tee. And I see it was posted 30 minutes ago.
Different one, so it's not the same one.
Different one.
Local.
How much? For $300. So now I just have to navigate. My son is going to need a nap when I leave here and lunch.
Don't worry about it.
And a drive over to the other side of Grand Rapids here in West Michigan to pick up an arcade machine to then bring home and install in my basement. But Steve,
is that going to fit in your vehicle?
I got it.
Hey,
I think
congratulations.
The 1 foot riser is separate from the 4 foot, and you can fold down the seats and stuff. So
I got a truck bed. If you need to borrow it, we'll just strap some roller skates to the bottom of it.
I can't wait.
Pull it behind the truck.
My neighbors are pulling in and out, just shuttling kids back and forth all the time. They're going to see me pull in, bust out an arcade machine,
and of course you got to say, "Hey, This is going in the man cave.
You want to go over tonight and shoot 18?
Kinda.
Now, have you played one of these specific ones before?
No. So what it is, it's
See,
not the Golden
I'm
Tee
worried.
2020.
I'm worried that.
Sorry, I did. I lied to you. I did.
How does it feel?
It feels normal. It's a little smaller, but it
does
still
it-
feels normal. And what you're
Does
used
it
to
feel
at
like
the bar,
cheaper? Because when you hit those things at the bar, like that's a solid.
Sure.
It's a solid cabinet.
Sure. The thing at the bar that you see usually is the big tabletop, and then like 6 feet away
Yeah.
is the big monitor. Well, this is not. This is arcade style, so you still have all the same controls. It's just on a smaller screen, but you have the rollerball. What I hear and what I've read, because I honestly enjoy. I've been reading forums about these to see if people have them for sale. They haven't. Is that, if you're an aggressive golden tier, which is, what we call ourselves, we're the Golden Tee Club now that I'm going to have one.
So you're on the Golden Tee forums.
Yeah.
The GT4s.
Obviously. Is if you're an aggressive golden tier, like you're really your hand will hit the glass.
Bad idea.
Which you don't want to do that. You don't want to. One, you don't want to break the glass. Two, calm down. It's a video game. It's not going to sense. You're an axe throwing big burly man.
Yeah.
No, just hit the rollerball like a normal person. I hear that's the main issue. But yeah, I did play one because 6 months ago, before this was really in my purview of like, well, I really, really want one. I'd always kind of like, hey, that'd be neat to have. But you realize you're an adult with a child, and it's an arcade machine. But now I don't care. I'm an adult with a child, and I really want this arcade machine.
Sure.
There were boxes of them at Best Buy.
Really?
Boxes of them, Steve. I have a picture because people
That's
knew I wanted
surprising.
one, so I took a picture of it because they had an open box one that I was playing. When I was just walking around with Reed, and just like 3 brand new ones next to it. I'll get them another time for the price of $249.
So whoever you're buying this off of is making money off of you.
Yeah, fine. I don't care anymore.
Have you thought
Yeah.
about passing it off to your old buddy Steve?
You wanna find
Flipping it.
No, because I really want one.
Yeah, but then you could make money off of this, man. I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
not enough for me to not want the Golden Tee in my house.
You could have upwards of $50.
So I'm messaging this person right now, and I just said, "Is it still available?" I said, "Can I pick it up this afternoon?" You can. What time? Said, "Let me get back to you. I have my son."
So
all
you
this stuff.
didn't make an offer?
She actually offered me to haggle, and I turned her down. She just said, "Are you good with the 300?" I said, "Absolutely." I can't get the money fast enough into your hands.
And you've read the description enough where it's not
I mean, it's pretty. It's not a very vivid description.
Okay.
It is. As I pull up the listing here really quick, it's about a total of like 6 words. 4 versions in one, which it is. It's Golden Tee 97, 98, 99, and 2K. Light up marquee, practically brand new. That's it.
I'd offer $250.
Offer $250. I'll give you.
Well,
I'll give you the
you already turned down the.
finder's fee, 10%. What do you think? So I still say $25, and you're making $25.
Yeah.
Why would she accept that after I already said $300?
Exactly.
Unless you say I can be there in an hour, and then you run away from the microphone. But no, a ton of
Hey,
pictures.
I got to go upstairs for a minute.
A ton of pictures. Looks in great shape. 4 players. What do you think? Me, you, Annette, Katie? We'll scramble on Golden Tee?
I think that could happen.
I love it. Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited
We'll
right
just
now.
leave the kid here.
I'm like a child right now. This is...
You
love
if
Golden
you need
Tee
to get
so
out of here.
much.
I mean, we're close to finishing up anyway.
Yeah, let's just hit that music no matter what.
No, we can't do that. Well, congratulations. I'm very happy for you. I'm happy that I feel like
This is a dumb purchase, right?
Oh yeah, very dumb. Very, very dumb. Don't worry. I'm gonna remind you of it from time to time whenever you make fun of my Comanche sitting out in the garage.
Yeah,
I now
when
have
I tell you I haven't played with it in
I now have 2 rebuttals. One being your comic book that is sealed in glass that you can simply just look at.
One of them makes money, and one of them gains value, though. Comanche isn't really.
Oh, Comanche, I could easily sell for $1,500 more than what I bought it for.
Right, take into account the hours and the time you put into it. Sure, I mean,
but that's also that's also my daughter's first vehicle.
Right. That's also the I'm not going to say what was on my mind. 'Cause it's not fair to you to put that in 15 years, your daughter's going to hate you so much when you like bring her out there on her birthday, hand in front of her eyes.
Got a big bow on it.
And she's going to be like, oh my God, what did they get? Did they get me like, a Prius or, a 4-door sedan or maybe, her mind starts wondering, maybe it's like a mini, maybe it's an SUV. Like, who knows? And you're going to go, happy birthday. And it's still going to have like the orange flag from your previous Sandhill weekend on it.
So to recap, you're not going to say the offensive part.
No.
That my daughter is going. So the offensive part was not that my daughter's going to hate me?
No, God, no. No, that's just truth. She's going to be a teenager, Steve. I mean, I think if I had to tell you that right now, I need to give you plenty of advance notice that in the next, you're probably only 10 to 12 years away from your daughter for a time.
Oh, yeah.
Not wanting anything to do with you.
Yeah. I'm well aware that that's going to happen.
That's what they say.
It's going to break my heart.
They say dads with daughters, right? Like really, like enjoy those first 10 years because dad eats girl, all that stuff, where they're the best.
Mm-hmm.
But then moms and dads for that next, 6
until
to
they
7
go to college.
years.
Yeah, until they're 17, 18, whatever.
They are going to hate everything about you and want nothing. You're just going to have to just ignore her.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You're going to have to be the passive dad.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. So much less responsibility.
Hey, how was school? I hate you.
Okay.
Yeah, good to talk to you.
I'll be in the garage working on the Comanche.
I don't want that for my birthday, Dad.
We do have a couple of things that we need to get to pretty quickly because that's been sitting here.
Hey folks, viewer mail time again. Oh, here's one from Sally, age 14. Dear Pig.
Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Perfect. All right, it is viewer mail time. I stopped by the P.O. Box, which if you need to send something to us,
sure.
It is the address is in the description of the podcast.
Yeah, it is.
Who's this one from?
This is from Will Egan. Now, I don't think, granted, I don't check our messages a lot, and I don't. This may have been from a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that's really not going to open up, huh?
No.
This is from Will Egan.
We talked about this beforehand, by the way. Somebody needs to send us like a custom engraved Steve and Kyle podcast. New logo, please. Letter opener.
Wow, so we're getting extra picky.
I mean, look, we've retired the old logo.
I mean, I am here peeling tape away. Very
That's
nice
a lot of
job.
tape. That's a lot of tape.
Yeah, so this is from our friend Will, sent to the P.O. Box. I don't know what this could be.
Will's in New York.
I appreciate the steadfast refusal to listen to us when we say, please stop sending us stuff and save it for the Cure for the Cure.
I mean, we are giving mixed messages when you say, please don't send us stuff, and I'm saying, hey, I'm giving vivid descriptions of what I want you to send us.
Okay, I think we have a way in.
We got it? Okay. What is this?
It's another package with more tape.
Yeah, of course, because people who send us stuff, first of all, Will paid $15 to send us a box.
Listen, people,
that should be a $6 shipping box.
We need to have a talk with people about shipping because one, you're spending too much. Stamps.com. There is,
walk into the post office and
I'm trying to open this the long
say, hey, make this cheaper.
Yeah, hey, what is the cheapest option for me to do it? Thank you, Will. You did get it here, presumably in 2 days. That didn't matter because I doubt Steve was waiting at the P.O. box.
No, because it got here. It got here at the beginning of the week.
It's another box.
Are you serious? Come on,
Maybe
Will.
it's not taped.
What are you doing, Will? This is
again. We knew this package was here, and yet I still didn't get anything ready to like.
No.
Open. Oh boy, it's really in there.
It's not our style.
There is an envelope, Steve.
Okay.
Should we open the envelope first?
Yeah, definitely.
Envelope first. There's more packaging inside of packaging inside of packaging. This is the Russian doll syndrome. We really need to nip that in the bud.
Okay.
To my favorite podcast. Well, Will, that's very nice. I know you guys are always talking about how hard it is to open all the packages you claim not to want to get.
Are you serious? Did we just...
You had mentioned needing one of these.
No way.
So hopefully this will help with that.
That would be amazing.
I've also enclosed $20 to go towards the Cure for the Cure. I know it's not a lot, but Will, I don't even appreciate that sentiment, Will. Literally any dollar to a charity that we have not picked yet...
Yeah,
is incredibly generous.
Yeah.
Listen, the only other time we've asked for money is for the most self-serving thing ever to put our faces on a billboard.
Yeah.
So
or
the
a T-shirt.
the fact that people donated to that, and now that we're actually doing something nice is outstanding. So please, if it's $1, if it's $5, I don't care. Anything is so insanely kind. So Will, that sentiment, you can take it and stick it. I figured every bit helps. Keep up the great works. I'm not just pandering when I say you're my favorite podcast. I don't think anything has ever made me laugh as hard as the ultimate plot twist of the surfer and the pier.
Ah, yeah.
Or all the build-up for the 3-pitch softball season that wasn't. And my personal favorite, Kenny Rogers fact of the week, he died. I truly missed those supersized 2 almost 3-hour episodes.
Oh, no. You are the only one.
He's not, though. We put polls out. People prefer those long episodes.
Yeah. Maybe we'll start doing them like every 2 months.
I'll tell you when we'll do them. July 10. The Cure for the Cure.
Yeah.
You'll get 2 3-hour episodes. Just listen to one half and then listen to the other half. Those are your 2 3-hour episodes.
So
hashtag P.S. hashtag Team Suspension Bridge. Good man, Will. Happy to have you on board.
All right.
Should we do now? We've had we've both been to the dueling piano bar here in town. And I think all of them do it, where they have, the local rival university. We're going to play the fight song until you put more money in for the other. Should we do that for Suspension Bridge and Covered Bridge on Cure for the Cure?
It might be tough because, as far as I know, there probably aren't a lot of songs.
Well, no, but maybe like
so you're saying
the current leading bidder
I got you.
has to be wearing a shirt of a Suspension Bridge or a Covered Bridge,
and then so we each start out with like I start out by wearing 50 layers of Suspension Bridge T-shirts.
That's right.
Or it'll be alternated.
Again,
so it'll be Suspension Bridge, Covered Bridge, Suspension Bridge, Covered Bridge, and you're just the opposite.
Yeah.
So every time somebody donates, I can take mine off. But then somebody donates to you. Oh, no.
And again, we're now talking about buying 100 shirts for a 6-hour broadcast.
Yeah.
And then maybe we can sell them because, somebody will really want the bottom one that's super sweaty from when we're outside. Yeah. So I will put this, Steve, with the rest of the money.
Thank you very much, Will. And this is going to be ridiculous if it's exactly what we just talked about, what we needed.
Maybe that's why. Maybe Will should have sent that in a separate package.
It is a Steve and Kyle
that
podcast.
That is gorgeous.
And a Steve and Kyle podcast pen.
Oh, now these are just outstanding. Will, this is the greatest gift we've ever received because I know no longer do we need to filibuster while you or I mangle a cardboard box. Okay, let me test it out.
Oh, that's nice. That's a good cut.
I don't know what ASMR is. I think that was it.
Now,
that gave
me
tingles.
I want people to know that was completely legitimate how that came up, where we naturally talked about needing a letter opener as we were opening our new letter opener.
Oh, now this
it's in a box that has like our name monogrammed on it.
Yeah.
It says the Steve and Kyle
Well,
podcast.
this is where we store it in the monogram box.
Of course.
Constantly. We're not just going to leave this out willy-nilly like some,
It's already got a bunch of adhesive on it.
Do we have it? Did he send cleaner?
Jesus, Will.
Well, if somebody could send us some letter opener cleaner now.
Some Goo Gone.
What an outstanding gift.
That's amazing.
I do feel like I need to ask about the pile. Are those for us as well? Because there's a pile of boxes, Steve, behind me. And when I say pile, I mean 3. But they're not small.
Well, the one on the bottom, no, that is my wife's.
Got it.
For Cricket Corner.
Cricket Corner. So there are
the 2 on the top
boxes.
And when you say for us, not exactly, and by not exactly, I mean no, because they are for me.
Okay, because I was going to say, as soon as you said not for us, I lost any care in the world.
I think that care is going to return. Can you pass me the one on the top?
The top one?
Yeah. The smaller one.
Ooh.
A little heft, right?
Got some weight to it there. Now, this is your standard mid-size Amazon box. It's probably 14 inches long, 6 inches high, 10 inches wide, something like that. But this is heavy. This is probably 10 pounds there that you're opening, Steve. I'm very curious.
Open them with my letter opener.
Oh, that thing is so nice. Will, again, I honestly can't thank you enough. This is changing viewer mail time for us going forward.
Oh, see, this is that tape with the
Yeah,
strings
the
inside of it.
threads in That's terrible tape. Terrible. Okay. I can't see it. Now you got the flap holding it. You look excited. What is this?
Do you remember a little discussion we had on this podcast last week?
Oh! Would you... Oh, my gosh, Steve. This is it.
To tell you that I found the deal of this century, and by this century I mean starting in May of 2021.
Yeah, because I think you already hit April with your Jeep bed. So that would be the previous century.
Would you like to reveal to everybody?
What I hold in my hand is one of two boxes, and from the label on the box, each box contains 2 strings of Christmas lights.
So
this is, look at now. It looks like, so I appreciate that you went the used route.
Oh, of course,
because you saved yourself a few bucks. They are repackaged by an Amazon warehouse.
After the podcast last week, I think on the podcast last week, we talked about how we gave an update on how they're looking. They're perfect. So we had talked about my Christmas light display because you had set a reminder in your phone.
Yeah.
So I finally decided to look them up. You looked them up. You found some on Amazon that were for 2 30-foot rolls. It was like $22.
Yeah.
And I said, perfect, send me the link. So you sent me the link. Is there a problem?
No.
Okay. You were looking at it with a quizzical look. So you sent me the link.
These are gorgeous.
And then I thought, perfect. 60 feet for $20. That's great. This is going to be a lot cheaper than I thought.
Yeah, we
I went
300 feet. You were looking for 250.
Yeah, I went to that link and I clicked on it. And as anyone who uses Amazon knows, over on the right hand side, there's a little button that says "Get it used" for $12. I was like, well, that's a great deal. So I click on that. But when you click on that, they're tricky. They don't let you know, or they don't let you select a quantity because they don't want you seeing, oh, I need to buy 5 of these. I'll just buy 5 used. So they let you add it to your cart, but then once you're in the cart, you have to add the quantity.
Yeah.
Well, once it's in the cart, it tells me there's 14 of them left. So I was like, well, this is beautiful.
So hang on, just to do the math. These are the dual packs.
Dual packs.
Which is 62 feet.
62 feet, yeah.
And there's
total.
14 because people may have thought we were joking, so it's important to clarify that when I left here, me and my wife left here and Reed last week, within an hour, I got a picture of you from your rooftop.
Yeah.
One of the peaks. Annette was down there, not really watching. I didn't get the impression that she was super concerned if you had the old Tim Allen slip and fall.
I had printed out a picture of our house.
Sure.
Drawn where all of the lights were going to go.
Just want to clarify, this is what normal people do, by the way.
In May, yeah, of course. So I was up on the roof measuring all of the distances, yelling measurements down to her where she would write them on the picture. So from something that I thought was going to be $300 maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe $400 in that. Let me tell you that I now have 435 feet of Christmas lights, which is easily 100 feet more than I need, for $85.
That is so much more than you need.
I know, but I'm banking on the fact that at some point something's going to crap out. Something's not going to work. I'm going to need to use a partial strand where I hide hide some underneath a bush or whatever.
Yeah, I'm trying to go back to what we had talked about. Was the footage you sent me a picture of you on the
I'm going to be over here plugging in my lights.
Yeah, you want to make sure every strand works, Steve. What'd the total number come out to? You said, so the roof line came out to 230 some feet. Now, we weren't including around the garage doors and any ground level type stuff, maybe around your door on your patio. Oh, look at those. Evelyn's going to be so happy that she has a dad who cares.
That doesn't look like warm white to me.
It doesn't. No. You bought the warm, right?
Yeah.
You sending them back?
I guess I got to plug them all in now.
Well, what if I can't imagine. All the bulbs look the same. Maybe you could...
well, it says warm white. I guess that might just be warm white.
Does it feel warm warm to you, though?
I think I'd have to see. I think it does. I think it's going to work.
Maybe we need go hit the light for me. And maybe if it's a little dark, a little ambiance, and I kind of wish we had turned on the Christmas Wrap by Kevin MacLeod. Okay, that didn't really help. Now that I think about it. It's not that dark out. I don't know why I thought that would help. Yeah, actually, there's literally no change from right around the light because there's. So we had agreed that you probably only need 300 to 350 once you include any overages and any ground level lights that you need to do and any type of connection. And you have how many feet again?
435.
So you've got an extra, easily probably 100 feet.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we do. I think we go around your deck.
I got to do the deck.
I think when you try to go to sleep at night, you'll know, I forgot to turn the lights off because it looks like it's 2:00 in the afternoon in my house.
I think maybe I'm going to get one of those inverters so I can wrap the Jeep in them.
Ooh.
Like through the grill.
Yeah. So you're on your way to becoming a Christmas guy because my other recommendation was that you buy the reindeer antlers.
Yeah.
For your car.
Your reindeer antlers for the car, and then the Santa's feet.
Yep. Santa upside down, stuck in a chimney, wiggling
chimney.
feet. Yeah. I think you need to do that as well.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to be able to use the fireplace for.
Are they warm? Are they bright? Why don't we pop one of the tops off? You should be able to tell when you look at the actual light, right?
Let's just plug this set in.
Because I'm not saying I'm concerned, but you were pretty clear that you wanted that warm white, not the bright white.
Yeah.
Which again I think is a mistake, but I can't tell you how many Christmas lights appeared. The other box is double the size of the one that Steve and I just opened using the new Steve and Kyle podcast letter opener. Yeah, they're the same. Yeah. Take one of the tops off. Can you unclip one of the tops and see what color the actual light itself is? How does that look? That looks bright. Yeah. The light itself looks bright. Oh, boy. Well, Annette's leaving you now for sure. Both wanted the white. Here you're going to come in with a bright, and she's going to be so disappointed.
I think it's obvious that we got to do a test run.
Obviously, you need to wait till tonight.
Yeah.
And you need to put a strand in the house.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only solution.
Boy, I'm excited, though. Because,
I was more excited.
Here, take this over. You want to open up that top box up there?
I was more excited 6 to 8 minutes ago when I thought these were the ones we actually ordered.
Well, look. No matter what, I got a killer deal on them.
You did. You could. I have a feeling you could still turn a profit on these.
Oh, easily. Wait until November. Wait until Thanksgiving.
I don't know.
I could offload these things for easily twice what I paid for them.
I don't know who would need 400 plus feet, so you may have to part them out.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw.
This could have been one box, by the way.
How many?
Two could have fit. You have 5 more boxes.
Okay, good. I ordered 7 total. Are those? There are 5 in there. I only see like 3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, cool. Yeah, they must have come from different warehouses because I got different shipping notifications on them.
Well, I am part happy for you.
You're excited for me, right?
I'm part sad.
Maybe open that one up. Maybe plug a couple strands in. Maybe I just got one wrong box. See, that's why I ordered 30% more than I needed.
Because you never know when you're going to have one that doesn't work.
You never know when a problem is going to break out.
This is the one, Steve. This one looks warm. It feels warm.
You got the plug right up on top. Oh, okay. I was going to say.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I need to see them.
Yeah, you want them all together.
Yeah. Let's see what we got. Oh, it looks the same.
Well, we're 0 for 3, but we've still got.
I mean, at least we're consistent. I'm fine as long as it's consistent.
We've got 12 more. If you really want to.
So here we go. It has begun. Christmas is here.
That is. I'm very excited. I can't wait to see the house. How did Annette react, though? Because it wasn't specifically addressed when I was here, I don't believe. Mm-mm. So when I left and you said, hey, I'm buying 400 plus feet of Christmas lights this week, how did that conversation go?
That was one of the... That's on you. Okay. Which...
So she's not going to be out there spotting you when you're on the roof putting these things up in November.
doubtful.
You got an extension ladder?
I do.
Okay, just a second, I got one.
That's how I got up there, man.
Oh, you didn't use the 6-footer and do a
No,
little
no,
bunny
no.
hop? Smart. We're too old for that.
Yeah, way too old.
Yeah.
Way too old.
I can't wait. I'll be here, man. Again, we already talked about a Christmas light swap.
So I think that we have to have hot cocoa.
No question. Marshmallows, the whole gamut.
Santa Claus is coming to town. Bruce Springsteen playing
On a loop.
Yep. Outside.
Gonna need a couple Bluetooth speakers.
Yeah. Good thing I got some rocks.
You got some rocks that look like they're that act as speakers. This is great. I can't wait.
Oh,
Stay
I'm excited.
tuned coming this winter because the lights are step one. You can't just become Christmas guy with just
All right.
lights.
What are the chances that 6 months from now, these boxes are still sitting in the exact same spot?
Mm-hmm.
Those lights are still plugged in haphazardly. And
I already have a reminder in my phone that I set. It must have been last year for October 1st to ask you where you are with planning. So you've got 5 months.
Yeah.
5 months to figure out any other step.
dude, I'm telling you, there's been a couple times this week I've stood out in the yard,
Yeah.
looked up at the house, and because I need it, there's a strategy to this,
Sure.
of where things are going to plug in and where they're going to run, because I don't want to have like this big, like balled up thing of lights
Yeah.
and nowhere to put it.
There's always the neighborhood idiot who has to run like a 50-foot extension cord because they didn't plan over like the peak of their roof down to an outlet. You know how dumb
I'm
that
not
looks?
worried. Yeah, I'm not worried about reaching anything because I was able to get up there. But what I think I'm going to do, and I need to know your opinion on this, I'm going to get a piece of rope that is the exact length of one of the strands, and then go up and basically mock it up. Go up on my roof and be like, all right, it's going to start here and here,
Okay.
and then like mark it, and then be like, start here and here,
You
start
got to
here.
take some variance in though because there's going to be some slack. So I think
Yeah.
you're probably better off on a 31-foot string. I think you're probably better off giving yourself 29 and a half feet.
I have all the measurements, really.
Right, but I'm assuming, unless you're, stapling it into your roof line, it's not going to stay boom, firm with
Yeah.
no slack in there.
But they have clips built in.
well, how about that?
Yeah, clip
Boy.
right to the shingles.
That
Look,
is
man, I spared
a lot of
Well, I spared a ton of expense because I gamed the system.
Yeah, you spared a ton of expense on this one. It's a nice job.
Oh boy, I'm excited though.
This is
I can't.
great.
That 'tis the season.
That's right. As we said, third best time to start your Christmas season is in the first half of May.
Time to see how wrong everyone else is. It's poll recap time. Find the polls at Steve and Kyle on Twitter.
And Facebook.
Are you supposed to brush kids' teeth?
Nah.
77% of the audience, Steve, said yes.
What?
You are, I think.
Come on.
Wasting time. What is a better name for a room? Now, this one did not go the way I was anticipating.
Better name for a room.
72% of the audience said the Decision Den over the Planning Pagoda.
Oh.
I like the Planning Pagoda.
I like the planning pagoda, but I guess a pagoda technically is not a room. So.
Oops, I'm going to scroll up past Philip's art. How wide are houses?
I found out this week.
1 to 50 feet or 51 feet plus? Steve, if you want to wait and give us your answer here until the results come in. I don't want you to skew the results.
Yeah.
64% of the audience said 51 plus feet long.
Yeah.
Only 36% of the audience said 1 to 50 feet. What did yours come to?
I guess I didn't do a
straight
measurement. Probably 57, 58.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, apparently the rest of the audience thinks we're stupid hobos who live in tiny houses. Because
Whatever, losers.
as we try to figure out the numbers, they're thinking, well, obviously 51 plus. Well, I'm
No.
sorry, you live in mansions. Do people still staple gun lights to their homes? 64% of the audience said yes.
What?
That cannot be a thing.
Look, if you're living in a 51-foot plus wide home and you're still stapling lights,
How many staples is that? That's absurd.
how many? Like, that's a lot of holes in your house.
That's a ton of holes. I demand, if you're one of the people who voted yes, I need video this winter of you
Yeah.
staple gunning these lights to your house because I don't believe you. I don't believe you. And you can't just say people do because I don't think I've seen it since National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase.
Yeah. Yeah, that's surprising that people would do
Unbelievable. That was it for the polls last week, Steve.
All
Again,
right.
at Steve and Kyle on Facebook and Twitter. Before we get out of here, and we are more than happy to hit the music. Stay tuned. New merch coming this week for your national poll badness champion for 2021. Our dear, dear friend Zach Ruddock came up with just a gorgeous design.
It's beautiful.
That should be on the merch shop early this week if you're interested in having Did the apostles chisel the word boobs into rocks plastered in the middle of your shirt? Again, that's at stephenkyle.com/merch.
Yeah, should be. Did we say should be available at this point?
Should be, yeah.
Okay.
I don't have the file yet. Yeah. You had it in your email, I believe. But yeah, it should be up here soon.
All right. Well, that's it. Stay tuned. Next week, a very special, a very special Steve and Kyle podcast.
That's right.
Slide whistles aplenty.
Slide whistles and jokes of the day mixed in.
I think I'm going to be the
of the Steve and Kyle podcast authentic.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to steal the show.
That's what we do. I mean, anybody who listened to us on We Need to Talk or on 1v1 with Jesse Douglas
completely monopolized
you and
the conversation.
I were two steamrollers.
Yeah.
And they were the pavement.
Yeah.
They were just in our way for
Coming
us
through.
to do another version of our show.
All right. At Steve and Kyle, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We'll talk to you next week.